A boy found a dead shark in the corner of the beach. He was hungry for 3 days and 3 nights. He thought he could fill his stomach with it. As a result, his mother turned around and suddenly saw a figure in the distance. He looked at it with a telescope and found that the person was walking towards them. This is a deserted area. Any stranger who comes near may lose their lives. His mother pulled the child and ran away. Two blocks. The stranger followed him slowly. On the way, they walked through the desert and crossed the hills until they escaped in front of a plane. The three of them stopped. After confirming that the stranger did not catch up, the mother and son decided to hide inside. When everyone was asleep, the girl was suddenly suffocated by a period of urine, so she went out alone to pee. Because of the fear of the day, caused her to turn left and right when it was convenient. I didn't see it at all. The man behind her came to her secretly. At this time, the girl had not noticed. Instead, she was lying down with her whole body relaxed. Just when the man was about to walk in front of the girl, the mother rushed out directly, a handful of hands into the man's body. The man did not have time to react. He had been stabbed 3 or 4 times. After that, the mother rode on him, killed with a heart attack, just like stabbing cotton. If it weren't for the girl's hindrance, the man could have been stabbed by her. And the reason why the mother is so cruel, then there was no signal. The daughter immediately returned to the yacht to tell them about this, but I don't understand what he's talking about. At this time, my son suddenly found something out there. I only saw a group of goldfish around them. I kept hitting them with my body. The yacht was hit left and right. For safety, my father quickly returned to the shipyard to escape. Then there was a loud noise outside. I only saw a huge meteorite falling from the sky. It was straight to sea where they were staying. A family of 4 looked at the scene in front of their eyes. I don't know if it's going to be dangerous. I knew the area where the meteorite hit was getting closer and closer to them. The father quickly left the boat. It was a good yacht, but it was inexplicably dropped the chain at the critical moment. It was also obvious that a huge meteorite hit it. The meteorite started a huge wave and let the things on the yacht fall to the ground. 9 goes, Term and 2. They quickly put on their life jackets and waited for the death to come. I don't know how many days have passed. 4 people woke up from a coma. Fortunately, they were still alive. It has just that the yacht can no longer be used normally. They walked out of the warehouse in a hurry. The scene in front of their eyes surprised everyone. The vast ocean of nothingness. Oh, they need to get out of here now, or they will be washed away by the sea in a week. When they heard this, they immediately packed up all the food on the boat and prepared to leave. As a result, a man suddenly appeared in the distance. Looking at his clothes, he seemed to be a victim. The warm-hearted father walked over with a kettle in his hand. I thought this person could share the trouble with them, but when he finished drinking, he was knocked to the ground by his father. After a while, the wife quickly ran up to help, but before she could run, the fish fork had pricked into her husband's stomach, and then it hit his neck again. The wife was scared and didn't dare to come any closer. She hurried back to the yacht to protect the child. Unexpectedly, a stranger man hurt his arm. The mother endured the pain and called for the 2 children to hide quickly. At this time, the stranger man was getting closer and closer. They quickly closed all the windows and hid the 2 children under the bed and gave them a signal gun as a defense. The man kept knocking on the glass door outside and didn't have much time for them. However, the mother had just entered the bathroom. The man just walked in through the door. At first, he was not looking for the mother and daughter, but rushing into the kitchen to look for food. It seems that he has been hungry for a long time. The mother was shaking all over the bathroom, holding a dagger to attack the man at any time. At this time, the man slowly dug his head into the bathroom, but there was no hair at all. But where is the mother hiding in the small space? At this time, the man found a big hole on one side of the yacht, so he dug his head out, and at this time the mother was all under it. Fortunately, he didn't find her. The mother intended to go around to the other side to attack the man. As a result, she just walked 2 steps and was suddenly hit by the man's dog. The black dog was like a wind to the woman, and she was knocked to the ground. Who knew that the woman was killed by the dog 3 or 2 times? The dog's scream attracted the man in the yacht. When he came out, he looked at the dog's body and cried. He didn't know that the woman had returned from the other side of the yacht. As a result, he was knocked over by a man when he entered the door. The woman, who was already injured, had no strength to fight back in front of. The two children passed through the door, watching their mother suffer from such abuse and pain. The daughter looked at the signal gun in her hand, and she couldn't bear it anymore. When her mother was about to suffocate, she raised her courage to open the bed, and she pulled the trigger with all her strength. The impact hit the man on the ground. Unexpectedly, the flame ignited the cabin, causing a huge fire. The two children ran out in advance. In this video, I will tell you the story of a girl who is going to marry her parents. The reason why a weak woman is so cruel is because a day ago, this man killed her husband and followed the three of them all the way. Now I have finally solved this evil person. They thought they could escape here smoothly. I didn't expect that the real nightmare had just begun. The mother and son turned the mountain all the way to the moon. The son suddenly speeded up. Then he stuck his head into stinky water and began to drink water crazily because they haven't had any water for 2 days and 2 nights. The three of them are very weak in the hot sun. The younger brother really can't walk, so my mother and sister collect the work around. I plan to rest here for a night before leaving. As a result, at night, the mother was suddenly woken up by a strange sound. She walked up the hill alone, but when she saw the front screen, a scary expression appeared directly, and then she ran after it desperately. The mother woke up two children who were sleeping and slowly moved forward along the lens. It seemed that a terrible thing was watching them. The mother and son ran quickly, and they looked back from time to time. They turned a hill, and there was a giant wheel in front of them. There were several cleaners below. The cleaner saw the three panicked. At first, a few people still wanted to help them, until they saw an unknown object behind them. The cleaner turned around and ran. The mother and her three children, who didn't hide in the warehouse, survived. But unfortunately, the mother passed out because of the crab bite. The two children were heartbroken. Slowly, the mother was out of movement. I don't know how long it took. The mother woke up from a sandstorm. Fortunately, she was fine. She took a bullet and spread the gunpowder inside on her wound, then used a lighter to ignite the disinfection. It should be said that this mother is really cruel. While the crab was disappearing in the field, the three of them immediately packed up and set off. The mother used the radio to call for help. Unexpectedly, the victim was still waiting for them at the site and hit the signal light to remind them of their position. They saw fireworks and immediately walked in that direction. Unexpectedly, the place where the victim was staying was stopped by a big mountain. The three of them turned the mountain, and the moon was bright. When they passed a cliff, the top suddenly began to drop a big stone. The mother suddenly pushed the two children out of the building, and she was blocked by the giant stone to the other side. The giant stone formed a high stone wall. Let the three of them directly support each other. The mother asked the two children to find the victims first. She thought of a way to turn it over. Unexpectedly, the children just left. The group of mutated crabs crawled over with fear. The mother took a shotgun and a gun and then a gun. In no time, the ground was full of bullets, but there were too many crabs. The bullets that the mother brought were not enough at all. At first glance, she was going to be surrounded by crabs. Her daughter suddenly reached out for help, pulled her mother out of the inside. They had no time to rest. Run quickly towards the submarine. At this time, the victim's injuries have been too heavy, and there is no way to go. They were directly dragged away by the crabs. I only saw the mysterious crabs besieging them. A few of them were in a bad shape. They rushed into the yacht and looked through the window. I can't believe I was bitten by so many crabs. My body can't be easily cut off. Who knows, in the next second, the seawater suddenly became a Taoist temple. It formed a wall hundreds of meters high. It was being sucked by them. Mother quickly ordered the children to return to the chair, then tie a safety belt. Then a strong current hit them,